Hello there and welcome back to Coffee and Card round 38 with Julie Sutcliffe at the Paper Haven, and this week it's week 4. This is still a pre-record because I just wasn't sure how I'm going to be following recent surgery, so this is the 3rd week and then I intend to be live next week for the last one. So let me get the bits out for the card and let me just check that you can see my desk. Right, I'm using the glass mat because most of the glass mat is in shot, so I sort of know where I can go to and still be in shot by using the glass mat. It helps me for this. Okay, so this is the original design. We're using the perennial lavender papers if you want to craft along, or you can craft along with something else. And today we've introduced a little bit of gorgeous grape card. So if you do want to craft along, it's just a normal, I'm in the UK, so this is metric. It's a normal half of an A4 card base, and then the gorgeous grape is 14 centimetres by 9.7. And the Highland Heather should be 13.5 by 9.2, and it is. Okay, so what we're going to do, it's another fairly easy card, but this has got a technique in it, and it's called inlaid embossing. Okay, so if you can see, not only is the Highland Heather paper embossed, but the card, but the perennial lavender papers, it's quite subtle, but that's also embossed, and it's sort of fused into the design. So it's dead easy to do. I'm actually going to attempt this with a brand new embossing folder. Look at the size of that thing. This is available from the 1st of May, so not long. I think it's called, hang on, I will tell you what it's called because I got the packet here. Dotted Circles. And it's like the full size of, I think they're £10. How fab are these? So if you wanted to emboss like the front cover of a notebook or things like that, it's brilliant. Or you could get enough for two card bases in one go. So a time saver. We're all for a time saver, aren't we? Oh, I also forgot to say you've got a bit of scrap. And you need your linen thread and a butterfly. So, right, so let's get cracking. So we're not going to stick anything down yet. We're just going to work with our Highland Heather, and we are going to die cut some scraps. And again, it's another card that uses up scraps of paper, and we all have them. And this is the size that I'm using. So just to give you an idea, it's this, that's a square one, that's a smaller rectangular one. It's that one, not to be confused with that one. Okay, and you're going to die cut 3 now. Mine are different papers, but they all look similar. I like using the ones with the crumb cake background. So I'm just going to root around, find some scraps. Okay, I've got that. And I've got that. They're not particular scrappy, that one is. So does that fit? Oh, that does just. So we shall... Oh, Julie. Where's the scissors? They're usually in the same place. Do you know what? I don't know where I've put my scissors. I think I've got a brand new pair, so we might have to open those. Nope. Oh, yes. I've treated myself to a new pair. Quite clearly, I've just proved why you need to treat yourself to a new pair, because I think I've moved my scissors and I've put them in with some cross-stitch stuff. So I'm just going to, these are now going to be my ribbon scissors, even though I've just cut that paper with them. So that's that one. We don't need that one. I think we'll have this one. Let's see what else we've got. Are there any other? Oh yes, look, I've got just the scrap, that piece there. So they're all similar, but they are all different papers. I'll show you the backs so you can maybe locate them a little bit easier. So the back of that one is just the deep purple. This one is the same but in the shaded spruce. And this one is the downstairs loo wallpaper. That's what I think that one looks like. I'd like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to die cut these. Now just to be, I'm just going to pull in my little machine. I don't like using my big machine now if I don't have to, but I do have to for the next part of it. So if you've got both, you might just want the big machine out. So I've actually cut 2 at once there. And then just cut 1 more. Okay, they're done. And I've done with that little machine for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to, oh look, I haven't got any white flowers showing and I wanted to, but never mind. I'm going to pop these on here first. Now, the best thing to do is lay them on first, get them all lined up that you're happy with, the distances between them. Yeah. It takes a little while. So I'm just checking the space to the left and to the right. It doesn't matter if the space in the middle isn't the same as these, as long as these 2 are. So I'm going to remove that one and I'm going to take some wet glue. Now, don't go overboard with the glue. Make sure it is covered. I'll show you what I'm doing. But I've not gone overboard with it because it will seep out when it goes through the machine. And I meant to say, eyeball those 2 as well. And then I would do the one on the outside, the one on the left next. So I do the outer 2 first. And again, I'm just checking these measurements. Sorry, I'm pulling it down so I can sort of get my head over the and then that's going to go in the middle, and then you can make sure that they're equally distant. Okay, so I do the outer 2 and then work your way in. Okay, so we'll just give them a little moment to glue down, and we'll take that scrap of white, and I'm going to use that really long stamp that says thank you for your friendship. Now the thing is, you could just use thank you, and that's absolutely fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut it down. I'm going to stamp with Gorgeous Grape. Really light taps because I don't want to ink up the excess rubber around the edge. And I'm just going to stamp it near to the bottom, like that. Now, oh, while I've got this out, I'm going to take that Gorgeous Grape sponge dauber. I forgot my words. And I'm going to get another butterfly. Oh, I already had one, and I might as well get my linen. Oh, I think this is what linen thread I've got left. So I best use the piece that I've got left and hope that there's enough. Hope I've given you enough linen thread. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to daub, and I have gone quite heavy on this, on my original design. I have really gone to town. Hope you can see that. I'm trying to keep it to the side so I don't get... You can take ink off the glass mat, which is brilliant because you're on a shiny surface. So I've really gone to town with this, and I have tried to keep a little bit of ombre effect, so it's a little bit lighter in the middle. So I'm gonna, you can always add more, can't you? But you can't take it away. There we go. Not doing any inking on the card, but if you like that grungy look, I've decided this week to do a non-grungy one. That was a decision that I made on purpose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down, and I'm just going to snip this. Okay, if you wanted to do it with a trimmer, you can, but it is a handmade card, remember. So, and then I'm just going to snip in between the thank you and the for. And you might want to just trim that bit on the left so it matches. Now, we don't need to stick those on yet because we're not going to put those through the machine with that on. I'm going to grab the big machine now. Hopefully it will still fit in screen. Oh, what I do need to say is this is the embossing folder that I used. It's like something type. It's like an oldie vintagey, and it's got typeface, but it's also got a little bit of vintagey. I can't remember if it's current or not. I've got my catalogue here actually, so it's like a worn typewriter look. So let's have a look. Time worn type, it is current at the moment. I don't know if it's carrying over. Time worn type, it is still available. So the exposed brick one would be good. The music would be nice, maybe. The timber one. Yeah, whatever you want to do. It's your card. And of course, if you don't have a machine and don't have an embossing folder, then don't. You can just make it like that, and you can skip this step. Okay, so just skip this step. Right, I'm going to go a little bit wacky. I don't know how this is going to look with this embossing folder because it's quite a modern design, and the card is a little bit sort of not as modern, I don't think. So I'm going to pop it in the middle. And I always forget what... right, so I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to stand up and do this. Make sure that it's sort of equal. I'm happy with that. Right. I always forget what plates I need. This is a thick one. So, it tells me on here, 3D embossing, I need plate 1, and then I just need the grey one on the top. Okay. So the folder is the full size of the platform. And what this will look like. So yeah, look, the folder's the same size as the platform. Oh, that's a bit wacky. What do we think? Now, this is a big design, so there will be some shrinkage on this. And what I mean by that is it might be that when you come back to stick this down, it looks like you need to trim some off. Yeah. Yeah, I might trim a little bit off that. It looks a bit wonky actually now. So we'll maybe do something about that. That's a bit of a deep design to do this style, but it probably doesn't lend itself to the style, as I said, but I wanted to try something new. And of course, it does mean that you can definitely see the, it does look wonky, I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the, yeah, I think it's because of the pattern. So maybe don't do it with one as deep as that. So what I'm going to do now is just trim this off a little bit. Oops, I've trimmed that off a lot. Oh, that's not too bad. I've trimmed a lot off there, so I've only got a little bit of gorgeous grape showing, but that's fine. I'm going to glue that down. Oops. Like that. And then I'm just going to stick this on. Oh, you probably need some glue dots for the linen thread. Very, very helpful. Just move those bits out of the way. This is going to be interesting, gluing it. I'm probably gluing it onto these dots. Actually, that's a bit high up, Julie. Can I move it? Oh, I don't want to rip the butterfly. Oh, I've just ripped it a bit. It's got no antenna now. Never mind. What I'm going to do then is move this up a little bit so there's not as much random space. Oops. My fingers have got glue on, so they're lifting the piece off the card. That's going to take a little while to stick, so. And then I'm just, oh, where's that linen thread? Because that's a long piece. That's a really long piece. Ah. Okay, so I've got this left. This is what's left from my, the card we did last week, was it? Oh, I'm losing track. Yeah, week 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that in half and cut the middle. And I'm going to tie it. I don't think there's any linen thread on next week's. There isn't now anyway. Now next week's is a little bit different actually. Doing something a little bit different. So I'm tying them both together. It's not the easiest thing to do. If you're bow challenged, it might not be. Look, 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 that's a mess. Come on, come on, let's start again. So what I'm trying to do is tie them both in a bow with the 2 loops. So I might make the loops a bit bigger. Oops. I might have to speed this bit of the video up. Turned out okay. Don't hate on me for making you do that, please. Okay, so yeah, it just looks nice there. Grab a glue dot, girls. Grab a glue dot. Crafter's best friend, these. So I take the twine to the glue dot, pick it off, and pop it in the middle there. The glue dots last years. I've had those years. I'm just going to snip this off with my new ribbon scissors. And there we have this week's card. That's week 4 done. I'm just going to tidy it away. Okay. You can put some gems on. I've got these left. So if you wanted to pop some gems on, you can. To be honest, with this design of embossing folder, there's quite a lot going on. I don't think it needs any gems. It's got all those circles. But yeah. Which do you prefer, vintage or the crazy dotty one? Actually, now it's finished, I quite like it. It's a little bit crazier. Okay, that was week 4. So next week, I said it's a little bit different. I'm hoping to be live. Excuse me. And haven't actually made the card. It's kind of a mystery one. So I will show you. It's very similar to a card that I did on my treat day. I've given you the exact same things and it went down so well. Apologies to the ladies who've already made one. You can do a different one. We're going to do it slightly different. So it's this card here. Now, obviously, the lavender stamps aren't included in this. So we'll do something different here on the front. But the basics of the card is the same. And we are going to cut well, larger than that, but instead of the circle, we're going to cut a rectangle. So have a think about how you might want to do the front of your card, whether you want to bring any other stamps in. If you've got the lavender, you can stamp the lavender, but that is next week's card. Hopefully, I will be back online because I should be all right to sit at my desk for a little bit. I am hoping. Okay, so all that leaves me to say is thank you for watching. Have a lovely week, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.